Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Now, I know I've stayed away from Dark Starlord for quite a bit of time because I've just been doing some tests and trying to optimize my Team 1. And like I always say, the Team 1, okay, or rather your first team, is the most important team because that team is going to solidify the rest of your other two teams. So I always focus a lot on the first team, especially in making sure that we perform the best that we can, because that is going to give you something crazy like 4.7 million score. And I'm currently doing this on auto, I'm not doing this on manual. So I'm actually very happy about whatever that I'm achieving over here. And I think as long as you can run something like this on auto, that's honestly all I care about. I don't really want to delve too much into manual gameplay, and I know some people get a kick out of it, but it's way too much effort for me. But there are some rather awesome channels out there who are running some manual teams. You can go ahead and check them out. For example, I think Tamaki is doing something more manual based, and I think Anki DP as well. But anyway, let's just take a look at my Team 1 and how I'm able to achieve something like this. This is quite surprising, you know, 4.7 million. I didn't even expect myself to hit that milestone. Okay, so I'm currently running something like this, and yeah, level 54 Kara here. The reason why this team is so important is because after Team 1 takes a turn, right, or rather when Team 1 does its thing, what we should end up with is less than 20 stacks of the boss buff. But in some cases, I actually had like much lower than that. I actually once had 7 buffs in total. That's crazy, dude. That actually added so much to my points. So for this video, I'm going to show you a little bit more about my stats and the resonance as well, because those are very important in making sure that your team survives, and especially since we are running this on manual. Now, you can either go for a 30% defense lead or you can go for a 30% HP lead. I think both are fine. Okay, so let's take a look at our Jinyu Yao first. So she has slightly lower accuracy. She definitely needs a little bit more accuracy because sometimes her third skill here does require some accuracy to return the debuffs to the boss. So she's rather speedy with a lot of HP, so she's just a strong tank. Her resonance don't really matter all that much, but I decided to go with the hasty action path and a little bit more accuracy as well. And as for Asenath here, so she is also quite tanky, right? High HP and high defense. And on top of that, just a lot of speed. So she's just going to keep taking turns, give us a little bit more heals, which decay over time, right? Because of the boss debuff. And Lotus Steps over here, which gives us more AP, and that Lotus Mark, which is huge. This Lotus Mark is really huge because as you progress into your 7 or 8 turn of the boss taking their turns, your healing is going to be reduced by a lot. But the thing is, Lotus Mark is still going to reduce 50% of the damage that you receive. And in terms of her resonance, let's take a look. So I'm currently running this, so she has increased healing when my allies are below 40% HP, which I think is quite important. Hasty action, this is quite important, so these two are extremely important for this particular fight. Then moving on to Kara here, she is the star of the show, dude. Like, she and Hall, they are both super powerful, they are both really good. So I'm giving her Ocean Waves because I don't have any more Astral Witchcraft. I would highly recommend you to use Astral Witchcraft instead, so go ahead and farm those Fafnir relics, right? So I'm giving her Ocean Waves and Avatara, and the reason why Ocean Waves is so important is obviously to just reload her Doomstroke as much as possible, because this skill alone has a potential to drop 4 debuffs at once, and one being a speed down debuff, which is incredibly important. So try to give her as much HP and tankiness as possible. I think this is decent, right? This is okay, but because of her low base HP and low base defense, she might need a little bit more work. Or rather, I think this is because she's level 54 and not level 60, but I don't think this is going to change all that much for her. So let's take a look at Kara's resonances. So she's going for a little bit more accuracy, which I think is very important, and hasty action as well. So just more turns the better, right? But on this path, I think this is quite essential as well. So we are spreading a little bit into the defense path. Number 1, for when attacked by critical hit, the damage reduced by 2%, which I think is good for her general tankiness. And this, Vital Life, if your own HP is below 30%, the healing received increases by 5%. This is going to allow her to sustain a little bit longer. Then moving on, we have Biondina here. So she's just built tanky with decent speed. I would rather she be a little bit faster as well, but I did give her the Astral Witchcraft, which is really good because she is then able to, you know, sometimes throw her third skill here and then be stuck with her first skill. And obviously you want to cap out her passive as well. I just don't have the skill lots for her right now. And a little bit more accuracy so that she can land the buff block. Not that it's super essential, but it's kind of nice to just have extra debuffs every now and then. And in terms of the resonances, I've completely shifted her away from like DPS, right? So she's currently just a support as per for me. So she has increased accuracy and increased speed, which allows her to just remove the buffs and land buff blockers a little bit more efficiently. Now finally, Hall. Okay, so let's take a look at his stats. So he's okay tanky, he's not very tanky, he dies a lot, right? And his defense is decent, but his HP is really low, so that's something that we need to really think about. Okay, so if you want to build him, you might want to give him a little bit more tankiness wherever you can, but I know it's a little bit difficult because you want to juggle accuracy at the same time. So in terms of his resonances, pretty much the same. So I'm going with targeted constraints. You don't really need hasty action because he don't necessarily need to rush a lot of turns. I'm just giving him a little bit more speed so that he has the potential to throw more of his first skill, which can attack debuff the boss, which is going to help a lot with your sustainability, but his proc rate is also really low. So honestly, you may not necessarily need him to have a speed Mui 2. You can just go for maybe more HP or more defense and that should be okay. And as usual, right, I'm just going to go with Vital Life so that he has a little bit more sustain, especially when he dips below 30% HP. Alright, so I talked for way too long. Let's just take a look at how this works, right? And we are just mostly going to be focused on the first team. The second and third team don't really matter all that much because that is really up to your creativity. If you're able to design a team that is able to just throw a lot of damage, that works out for you. Oh man, somehow my OBS just stopped recording the video for some reason. Okay, so for this run, what you might want to pay attention is there is a good chance that we can get scuffed because this is, after all, very heavily reliant on RNG. And if you saw that, Doomstroke from Kara actually landed 4 debuffs, one being a speed down. So what you must understand is that you only have 5 limited attempts unless you want to eat into your Nexus Crystals. So with this 5 limited attempts, you are pretty much restricted to the RNG that you are given, right? So if you're given like terrible RNG, then that's about it, you're screwed. So it is going to be a problem, right? RNG is always going to be a factor, which is why running manual helps a lot, especially for limited content like this. But like I said, I'm definitely not down for the manual game. I'm Sergeant Auto player. I cannot imagine myself just like manualing this for like 20 minutes or something, because if you want to minimax everything, you will need to pay a lot of attention to every single detail. That of which oh my god, I can't, man. My mind is too fragile right now. But as you can see, so we have taken a couple of turns, right? Or rather, the boss has taken a couple of turns and he hasn't gained a single passive stack. And what the passive does, Shadow Embrace. Each stack increases AP after taking action and reduces damage taken, which is so detrimental to your Team 2 and Team 3. So it's very important that your first team is extremely tanky and extremely fast, has super high accuracy, and you're able to maintain at least 10 debuff stacks all the time. Every single time. And the best is to land this attack debuff as well, because this would increase the tankiness of your team. Well, increase the tankiness, I should say. And it's very important because your heals are going to dwindle as time progresses because of the debuffs that we have here. See these debuffs over here on our Espers? What those do is your Esper then gets fewer HP regeneration or like smaller shields, right? So that means that if you are using Jinyu Yao, if you are using Esanath, the healing that my Bion Dina will receive is going to be greatly reduced, which is why she is slowly whittling down a little bit faster. So yeah, she only healed herself for like almost 500, the rest healed themselves for about 1000 plus. It just, yeah, see, you can see that, right? So it just goes to show that debuff is very debilitating and very dangerous. So it's kind of unfortunate that my Bion Dina is gonna get screwed so early on because she's my esteemed buff remover, and I need her to survive. I desperately need her to survive over the other Espers, man. Especially for when the boss reaches his 0 cooldown here, he would be able to have his immunity up again, and that sucks. And without Bion Dina, I can only rely on Esanath to strip, but that is most of the time not going to be the case. It's super rare for... oh my god, there goes Bion Dina. So it's super rare that Esanath gets the strip because she only has like 60% proc chance, and her accuracy is not super high. So this is potentially a problem for us. Let's see. We need Kara to land her third skill, which I think she should have on her current turn. I think. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Quadruple debuff. Fantastic. Kara is like so strong for this. So freaking strong. So strong to the point where I decided I think I should just remove my Dahlia. Yeah, I feel like Dahlia is not bringing as much. The AP movement is okay, but the speed down and the debuffs that she brings, it's like... it's so crazy, dude. Her normal attack lands 3 debuffs. It's like crazy as heck, dude. Okay, so yeah, we are kind of like slowing down a little bit. We're not able to keep up with the debuff count. So I'm okay with this because we are going to have 14 stacks, hopefully. we should have 14 stacks, right? He's going to kill us on this turn. Okay, good. Okay, this is great. Okay, so now 14 stacks. I'm cool with it. It's very important that he wipes you with this Stellar Smash skill. It's very, very important. So your first team needs to survive for 8 whole turns. 8 entire turns. Because so that right now on my team 2, he's not going to be able to use Stellar Smash to wipe us, which is going to give us 2 or 3 more turns to just do as much damage as we can. And we are possibly able to survive all the way until he uses Stellar Smash, which is, yeah, basically Armageddon. So this is what like an efficient auto team might look like. Well, obviously you probably won't have a lot of the Espers that I'm using here, but ideally your first team is the most important one, right? Just make sure that you have a team that is able to land all the debuffs. So Kara and Hall are relatively free to play. The other options that are harder to come by are obviously Asenath and what's her face? Jin Yu Yao. Yeah, she's a little bit harder to come by. Okay, so check this out, right? Check this out. So I'm gonna get wiped, hopefully get wiped here, so that my team 3 has a little bit more room to breathe. And oh my god, my Suhua, I hate you. How the hell did my Chloe not die? Was he attack debuff? I wasn't actually paying attention. Well, this sucks. This sucks a lot for us. Because that is gonna eat up 1 turn. That's gonna eat up 2 turns, dude. We need to be wiped right now. Okay, we got wiped. So we only have 2 turns to play with the boss before we die. Bloody hell. Okay, so I think I might want to remove Suhua because she's a little bit too tanky. And as such, we are not able to wipe on the Stellar Smash. Yeah, I'm not actually sure why Chloe survived. I think it was an attack debuff, but you guys can just rewind and figure it out. But this particular team here, this is like the all-out team. So I'm using Catherine here to give us a little bit of standoff, which might be quite crucial in just a bit. I may want to remove Dahlia. I may want to put Suhua instead, because this camo... Crap! Okay, so this camo really screwed us up. Yeah, so this AP push that she did really screwed us up. Because now the boss is just gonna wipe us. If not, we would have standoff. Yeah, GG. So this team, 4 million, okay, decent. I definitely need to shift some Espers around. So for my second team, I'm gonna move my Suhua down to the 3rd team, and I'm gonna move my Dahlia up to the 2nd team. I think that makes more sense. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Anyway, this is the run, and full auto, 4 million. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so I got like an improvement to my score. And we are currently 2nd, and dude, Death Punk. Way up there, dude. That's sick. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I mean, this is like extremely endgame content. I do not advise any of you guys who are not even near the state where I am at to even give this content so much attention. This content definitely does not need your attention at all. It's just something that gives you a little bit more rewards every now and then, right? But that's basically it. The rewards are not that great after all. It's just a bunch of flawless relics that are generally shit because I got like complete garbage the last time. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more dislike content. Now with that said, this has been Derry Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.